there, today we wanted to come on and tell you about this weed barrier landscape fabric, heavy duty, that we purchased from Amazon and put in our yard. I actually did it several months ago and I just wanted to wait to see how it has held up and tell you about it and answer some common questions that people have about it. So let's get going. So the first question is this fabric durable and long lasting? So yes, that is actually one of the things that I was super happy about. It is called heavy duty in the description, and I would say that yes, it definitely is. So the weed barrier that I've purchased at the store before is kind of like thin and almost like hairy, if that's a weird description, I know, but that's how I would describe it. It's not super strong. And this was super strong. It has a 3.2 ounce fabric with high tensile strength and tear resistance. So that way, when you put your weed barrier down, it's going to stay down. It's going to provide a great barrier to keep the weeds out of your garden or wherever you're laying it. I actually laid mine along the barrier of my house to keep the weeds. I kind of have bushes and then I have an area between the bushes and my house, and it just constantly was overflowing with weeds. So that is where I laid the weed barrier, and I've found it to be super effective and helpful for keeping the weeds out of that area. Does the fabric allow for water and nutrients to pass through? So yes, in my experience, I have not had any problem with water pooling on the weed barrier. It has just penetrated right through. Like I said, it's kind of up near my house, and I've checked on it periodically and I have not noticed any sitting water. So that's another great thing, is that even though it's so thick, it's not going to hold the water. It's going to allow it to penetrate and get through to that soil. Does the fabric prevent weeds from germinating over time? So yes, like I mentioned, I laid mine several months ago, and I was just checking on it the other day, and I was so pleased with the results. Of course, I would have a couple of weeds along the edge where the weed barrier did not get laid, but in particular, like where the weed barrier was laid, it's an amazing difference. I actually wish I would have shown like a before, kind of where the weeds were, and then an after. But it is just a great product to keep the weeds down in those areas where you want to keep them down. Can the fabric be used under paved stone? So yes, in addition to laying it next to my house, I also have a little area where I have a swing, and we have some paved stones, and I was able to lay the weed barrier there and put the paved stones on top of them, and I haven't had any problems with it since. So just to wrap it up, I wanted to cover the things that I love about this weed barrier. Of course, the biggest thing is I love the thickness of it. I also love how easy it is to apply. You just basically, figure out where you want to put it and cut it and put it down. And I also love the effectiveness of it that I've found over time. It has kept the weeds down in the areas that I've laid it. If you found this video helpful and you'd like to purchase the weed barrier, you can find the link in our description box below. Have a sunshine day.